So this episode's gonna be about intermittent fasting, and I think I'm always gonna pronounce this wrong, but yeah, this is what this episode is all about. And I should definitely remember that I that I should turn off the fucking sound from my PC. But yeah, with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. I am your host, Christopher Walch, and yeah, enough with the accent. I always find that just so, well, I don't know, like it's always just really tough to just, hear people that really have that the just real German accent when they're just speaking in English. Yeah, I do not want to judge. I guess, as long as you can understand them, or as long as I can understand them, whatever language, they are speaking, I guess everything is fine, no matter if they have an accent or not. Well, why should I judge them? But yeah, as you've heard in the intro already, we're going ahead with the intermittent fasting, or whatever it is actually called. I don't fucking care. With the intermittent, actually, yeah, never mind. Fasting article from the jamesclear.com website. As I've said probably just way too often, it is again a pretty great article from James Clear himself. And yeah, we have stopped actually in the middle of the fucking thing, unfortunately, because I just haven't realized it, and I probably, just thought that it would go on for quite a bit. But in fact, it is not the case, or it is, or was not the case. So yeah, we are going ahead with the point 4, which is intermittent fasting is much easier than dieting, which I, before I actually read that, believe in. Not only because it is from James Clear, but also, well, it just makes sense. And I've been talking about it in the last episode as well. Why is this not working? Could you please tell me? Could you please fucking tell me why this? Now it's working. Now everything is fine. But yeah, I assume that it is easier because you do not basically change how you eat, but only when you eat, and it just really sounds way easier. And I've also been thinking about whether I should just tell this some people that I know that are struggling with weight loss and just actually also with gaining weight and whatsoever, that they maybe should try it out. I still think there's gonna be just some, learning curve or just some adoption curve correlated to intermittent fasting, just because you do just change your behavior, and I think if you're changing your behavior, it's always gonna take some time until you somehow get used to it. But I guess as long as it then also helps, everything is fine. And, especially if you then see the results, I guess, then there is the point where you just say, okay, I'm just doing it, A problem that I'm seeing there as I'm thinking about it is that you probably would have, or you just have to do it your whole life long, If you do not just want to gain weight again, I assume at least, you could always just be like, okay, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing that, and then I'm just doing intermittent fasting again, and then not, but I don't know if it's just, the smartest thing you can do, or if it just, would be better if you only do the intermittent fasting cycles or patterns or whatever you're thinking about. But yeah, I'm reading and I'm fucking pumped to be here, especially because I can shut around because I'm alone at home. So yeah, the reason most diets fail isn't because we switch to the wrong foods, it's because we don't actually follow the diet over the long term. Which is actually the case, because when you've just been having the behavior or having the habit of just eating so fucking unhealthy for so many years, because you don't gain weight just incredibly fast. You can gain weight fast, if you're just eating completely shit for a dedicated amount of time, for sure you're gonna just gain weight. But it's just, there is some time correlated to it, you're not gaining 100 pounds over the next 2 days, I think, at least. I don't know if this is actually, I think there is no way. There is no way. But yeah, just changing those habits and changing those patterns that are just basically deep inside you is, pretty fucked up. And just changing when you eat and, also somehow how often you eat, it's not such a big change, I would say, especially because you just eat the same exact shit. Which, we can talk about it later because, it would be just good if you just eat or start eating healthier and also do the intermittent fasting thing, because then I guess you would just really, really, really lose a lot of weight. At least this is what I'm assuming. So, basically because I haven't done the intermittent fasting thing, therefore, I don't want to say that it is working. I'm just trusting in James Clear that it is working, but yeah. So this is where intermittent fasting shines, because it is remarkably easy to implement once you get over the idea that you need to eat all the time. Yeah. For example, this study, and there's already or as well a link to the study, found that intermittent fasting was an effective strategy for weight loss in obese adults and concluded that subjects quickly adapt to an intermittent fasting routine. This could be because, they can definitely then see just their results pretty quickly, I guess this is one of the best motivations or best drives for someone that is overweight there is. I like the quote below from Dr. Michael Eades, I guess Eades, it's Eades, who has tried intermittent fasting himself, on the difference between trying a diet and trying intermittent fasting. So diets are easy in the contemplation, difficult in the execution. Intermittent fasting is just the opposite. It is difficult in the contemplation, is contemplation like, the planning and whatsoever. The contemplation of beautiful objects, viewing, regarding, examination, inspection, observation, survey, study, scrutiny, scanning, staring at, and so on. But easy in the execution. And I really assume that it is quite easy in execution, because you basically only have to change when you eat. And that's basically it, Which is nice. Which is really nice. So most of us have contemplated going on a diet. When we find a diet that appeals to us, this already is a sentence that that is just really, really crazy, because it's just really the thing. We're searching for diets on the internet. We're searching for the best diet to quickly lose weight so that we're looking nice for the summer or something like this. This is what human beings are doing, I guess. They're just looking for shortcuts, trying to find this one shortcut that is working for them. Then they're trying them out for 2 days, and then they just let it be what it is. Sometimes, not often. Well, maybe often. I don't actually know. Sometimes it is the case. So when we find a diet that appeals to us, it seems as if it will be a breeze to do it. But when we get into the nitty-gritty of it, it becomes tough. For example, I stay on a low-carb diet almost all the time. But if I think about going on a low-fat diet, it looks easy. I think about bagels, whole wheat bread and jelly, mashed potatoes, corn, bananas by the dozen, etc. All of which sound appealing. But where I to embark on such a low-fat diet, I would soon tire of it and wish I could have meat and eggs. Reading is difficult. So a diet is easy in contemplation, but not so easy in the long-term execution. By the way, the whole low-carb thing, I don't know, I really do have to say that when I actually, care about how many carbs I actually consume, I do see that I'm just losing fat. I do not have a lot of fat, as you can probably tell by something like this. I'm really not having a lot of fat. The most fat that I'm probably having is either my butt, which is actually only fat, and what is it called? My tummy. So my lower belly, actually not tummy, my lower belly. There for sure there is some fat. There is some fat. It is probably not much compared to other people. For me, like, I could be just leaner, I guess. I could really be. And I guess, if I would really care about the carbs and or the amount of carbs that I'm eating, I guess this would actually be a thing. Because I've tried it out. Because I really have. Sometimes I'm just really saying to myself, okay, no, don't eat the carbs and see what will happen. I think this was just 1 or 2 or 3 times the case actually. And then I've actually seen, okay, when I, for example, do not drink any fruit juices, I in general do not eat something that is sugared, whatever it is, whether it be just some cottage cheese or whether it be some juices or whatever. I do not consume anything that is, with added sugar, actually. So even though I'm basically then only consuming just some fruits, I totally see, okay, when I'm just not consuming such a lot of carbs, I lose fat. So even though, I always thought about those low carb diets, that they're just pretty shitty. I really thought like, okay, they're just really bullshit. Also because a friend of mine did it, just I think on a pretty different scale than I was doing it, because I just wasn't eating, as much fruits as I was used to, and whatsoever. So I still ate bread and my oatmeal and whatsoever. But he actually got sick of it. So basically, like, not sick of it in terms of, okay, he just wasn't willing to do it any longer, but he actually got sick because of it, because he was so, well, what is it called? So weak, actually, because, carbs are actually the main source for the body, for energy, actually. And because, when your body doesn't have any energy, like, okay, also your immune system, I assume at least, it's not going to work as good as if you would have energy. But yeah, I could be totally wrong there. It could also just be the condition of my friend. I don't fucking know. I'm really not a nutritionist. I only knew or saw that just consuming lower carbs actually got me to losing more fat without losing just any muscle mass, I guess, at least, because I haven't noticed it, at least. Intermittent fasting is hard in the contemplation of that there is no doubt. You go without food for 24 hours, ? People would ask incredulously, when we explain what we were doing. I could never do that. This is actually something that all the people are saying. No matter, whether it be about, working hard or working a lot, like, 10, 12, 16, 18, 22 hours a day. I can't do this, I wouldn't be able to do this. This is something that I hear often I just hear it pretty often, because I'm not eating sweets. I'm not eating anything that is sugared. I'm just eating not a lot of things. Because I don't want to, and I want to feel good, and I want to feel healthy, and I want to feel energetic, and I want to be healthy. This is just the main kind of reason for me, and I also want to look good in my body, with my body, whatever. No, it's raining. I actually wanted to just play a little soccer today, but because it is raining, I guess it's not gonna be the case, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just the phrase "I can't" or "I could never do that" is something that I hear often. And I guess if you're just doing something that is not normal, quote unquote, then you're also gonna hear it just pretty fucking often as well. Like, I don't know. I don't know if people are actually so like, okay, I don't know what I can do and what I cannot do or whatsoever. But yeah, never mind. But once started, it's a snap. No worries about what and where to eat for one or two, for where to eat for 1 or 2 out of the 3 meals per day. It is a great liberation. Your food expenditures plummet, and you're not particularly hungry, although it is tough to overcome the idea of going without food once you begin the regime or the regimen. Nothing could be easier. So I assume actually that that actually starting it is definitely not as easy, because you do just have to start somewhere. Like, I could be like, okay, I'm going to eat something at, I don't know, 5 p.m. or something. I'm just eating a fucking load at 5 p.m. And I'm not going to eat something until 5 p.m. the next day. Something that I am somehow feared of is actually just being hangry, because I am fucking hangry. Also just things like, okay, not feeling so energetic, feeling bad, and whatever. So many different things that I'm just thinking about, or that I'm concerned about, and I hope there's going to be just some answers for them in just the Q&A section, or the FAQ, or whatever it is. It's actually Q&A. In my opinion, the ease of intermittent fasting is best reason to give it a try. It provides a wide range of health benefits without requiring a massive lifestyle change. Examples of different intermittent fasting schedules, and now it gets pretty interesting, I said, or I guess actually. So if you're considering giving fasting a shot, there are a few different options for working it into your lifestyle. Daily intermittent fasting. Most of the time I follow the Lean Gains model of intermittent fasting, which uses a 16-hour fast followed by an 8-hour eating period. So you're fasting 16 hours. Do they mean like, okay, you're not eating something for 16 hours, and then you have an 8-hour window where you can eat as much as you basically can? I'm just really thinking about trying it out for a bit. The thing is, I do not want to be hangry. Something that I've seen as well is that this could actually be one of the best things I could do, because, during school time, at least the last year, next year I'm not having as much hours as I had. Last year I had a 40-hour week, in school, which is definitely a lot, and which is definitely also a little bit a problem, especially if you do have to commute 2 hours a day. So just 1 hour just to the place, and then 1 hour from the place to my home or back home. And then, it is a long time. I'm still just trying to use every single minute that I'm having for all the things that I'm just then having to do after school. So when I'm at home, so that I do not have to just, for example, make the posts before I go to bed. And then, it has often been the case that I then just only go to bed, or just go to bed when it is, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. actually, or 11 p.m. or something like this. It is not that nice. And it would be extremely fucking good if I was able to somehow not eat something when I'm coming home. So it would be incredibly great. Even though I think this would mean that I would have to just actually get a lot of food with me when I'm just going to school, which is also a problem, I guess, because, I don't want to fucking just, carry the whole food around all the fucking time. And I guess people can relate to that. It's not really nice, just going around with 16 fucking kilos, or 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 pounds of food with you, especially if you're already, having an MacBook with you, which is already weighing like, what will it be? 6 pounds or something, 3 kilos, something like this. But let's actually see, because I'm very interested in that. 19 minutes, okay. We have 10 minutes to go. So daily intermittent fasting. I have read that. So this model of daily intermittent fasting was popularized by Martin Burkhan of leangains.com, which is where the which is where the name originated. It doesn't matter when you start your 8-hour eating period. You can start at 8 a.m. and stop at 4 p.m. Or you start at 2 p.m. and stop at 10 p.m. Do whatever works for you. I tend to find that eating around 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. works well, because those times allow me to eat lunch and dinner with friends and family. This is exactly what I've been thinking about. I would then just probably start eating um, something like 12 a.m. or something, or 1 p.m., and then stop. Wait, when it's 1 p.m., then I have 8 hours, then I could basically just stop eating when it is 9 p.m. Well, this could definitely work. Like, it's. Wait a second, when I'm able. So I have. Oh, I do just have to take care of what is 16 plus 8. It is 24, which means, okay, I'm having an 8-hour window in the day, which means from, 12, I'm eating something in the morning. For me, it would mean just not eating something in the morning and waiting until I get something to eat when it is just noon, when I just eat my lunch. This would just be it for me. And then I'm just having the 16 hours or something and not actually eating something after 9 p.m. then. Or 8 p.m. actually. It could really fucking work. I think I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, I guess so. Well. Blah 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 blah. Where have I stopped now? Oh my fucking god. So breakfast is typically a meal that I eat on my own, so skipping it isn't a big deal. It really is not. So daily intermittent fasting lean gains method. Yeah, there you just have a little picture of it being visualized. Because daily intermittent fasting is done every day, it becomes very easy to get into the habit of eating on this schedule. Right now, you're probably eating around the same time every day without thinking about it. Well, with daily intermittent fasting, it is the same thing. You just learn to not eat at certain times, which is remarkably easy. One potential disadvantage of this schedule is that because you typically cut out a meal or two out of your day, it becomes more difficult to get the same number of calories in during the day. This is what I'm thinking about. I've lost it again. Oh god, fucking damn. Yeah. But simply, it's tough to teach yourself to eat bigger meals on a consistent basis. The result is that many people who try this style of intermittent fasting end up losing weight. And that can be good. That can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your goals. Well, for me, it would be a bad thing because I just need my calories, and if I just still, consume even less calories that I'm just consuming now, I would fucking starve, I guess. No, I'm just eating a lot of things. I'm just consuming a lot of calories. But physically, I guess I would just, look like I would starve. But yeah. So this is probably a good time to mention that while I have practiced intermittent fasting consistently for the last year, I'm not fanatical about my diet. I work on building healthy habits that guide my behavior 90% of the time, so that I can do whatever I feel like during the other 10%. If I come over to your house to watch the football game and we order pizza at 11 p.m., guess what? I don't care. That is outside my feeding period. I'm eating it. Well, something that I always just think about is to not get crippled by those things. I would say no matter what you're doing, whether it will be about recording an episode, whether it will be about eating, whether it will be about work in general, whether it be about just meeting people, do not fucking cripple yourself. I've been doing it, I'm still doing it to some degree. You should not, because it is just really a lot of wasted time. Especially because why? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Have a nice time, have a nice life. But on the other hand, I do just also have to say, be strict with what is important for you. If you say, okay, you want to just do the intermittent fasting thing, then just fucking do it. Do it. You can. You really can. Something that I'm seeing there is also that, when I'm waking up and I do not have to eat something, but just drink something, first of all, I'm going to drink just a lot of fucking more than I'm doing right now because I'm not drinking anything. this could definitely work for me because, I'm definitely not going to eat after 9, I guess. No, I'm really not. I'm really not eating after 9 or after 8. Yeah, well, after 8 sometimes. After 8. Do you know after 8? I hope this doesn't get copy striked or something. Never mind. Weekly intermittent fasting. Well, I don't know if this just makes sense, but still gonna read it. So one of the best ways to get started with intermittent fasting is to do it once per week. Basically, I never ever do just some gradually kind of exposure to certain things. I always just do it. If I would start just fucking intermittent fasting, I would do just the daily thing. This is how I do it. So do it once per week or even once per month. The occasional fast has been shown to lead to many of the benefits of fasting we've already talked about. So even if you don't use it to cut down on calories consistently, there are still many other health benefits of fasting. The graphic below shows one example of how weekly intermittent fasting might play out. Fasting. I hope you can see this pretty good. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is no screen any longer where everything is just big. Or is it this one? I think I've just made this one. Yeah, it is. Fucking good. So there you can see. It's extremely good, isn't it? Fucking great. Just really makes me happy at the time. Oh god. So you just, if I'm seeing this correctly, you're eating something until, sleeping and fasting. You're not eating something from AM to noon. And on Monday, you're basically eating nothing but breakfast. Okay, it is, well, yeah. Well, would make sense. But what I'm seeing as well there is that, you basically would be just smart to actually schedule the time so that you can actually also work out in this period of time, which would mean that I have to work out in the morning. Not so good. So in this example, lunch on Monday is your last meal of this day, or of the day, and you then fast until lunch on Tuesday. This schedule has the advantage of allowing you to eat every day of the week while still reaping the benefits of fasting for 24 hours. It's also less likely that you will lose weight because you're only cutting out 2 meals per week. So if you're looking to bulk up or keep weight on, then this is a great option. It is. The thing, would actually be nice to be able to fast, during the whole day. Because I would just save a lot of fucking money. I would really save a lot of fucking money. Because the only money that I'm spending is basically in school when I'm having to buy myself lunch. This is the only time where I actually spend money. Unless I really need something. The last thing that I've bought myself was just some Bluetooth headphones. Because I've given mine to my girlfriend. Because hers were broken. And, mine were actually quite already broken. But, then I thought, let's get myself some Bluetooth headphones. Because, I'm always just breaking or ripping apart. Well, not ripping apart, but I'm breaking the cables. So I thought, let's buy myself just some Bluetooth headphones. They're quite good. Some Anker SoundBuds Slim Plus. Long name. They're pretty well. Even though I had some problems in the very beginning because, just with the MacBook, there were some connection problems where I only had the specific audio. What is it called? I've lost the word. Audio codec. I think it's codec, something like this. And you do just have to force then your product, so your MacBook actually, you have to force your MacBook to actually use a certain other codecs so that, the Bluetooth connection is way fucking better. or actually good, because before it was just total shit. So I've done 24-hour fasts in the past. I just did one last month, and there are a wide range of variations and options for making it work into your schedule. For example, a long day of travel or the day after a big holiday feast are often great times to throw in a 24-hour fast. Perhaps the biggest benefit of doing a 24-hour fast is getting over the mental barrier of fasting. If you have never fasted before, successfully completing your fast one helps you realize that you won't die if you don't eat for a day. It is so fucking interesting. I am a woman. Should I do anything differently? Well, I guess there should be something. I could never skip breakfast. How do I do it? I thought you were supposed to eat every 3 hours. Nah. This is crazy. If I didn't eat for 24 hours, I would die. Okay. I don't think so. What are some good resources on intermittent fasting? ? And that's it with all the questions. And these questions are going to be gone through by us the next episode. Yeah, thanks a lot. Wrong one. Thanks a lot for watching and or listening if you're on the podcast. I have forgotten something. I've really forgotten something. Yeah, just follow my Instagram. It is just beneath me. @Walch Christopher on Instagram. And yeah, all the other links are down in the description if you want to check my stuff out. I post 8 times a day. Yeah. This is what I do, besides doing the videos. Still, I wish you the best health, happiness, and success, and also up to you going to remind yourself on how you are going to be remembered. So basically, your legacy. You have it in your control. It is in your hands. But you're not going to make everyone happy, and not everyone's going to like you. This is just what it is. But with that being said, I wish you the best, and I see you.